coming to you live from the land of chlamydia-ridden koalas. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 171st episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I, as every week, am Log Power Slave, and this week we are joined, well, by Mullen Games. He's here every week. I can't get rid of him. But welcome a couple of Bungie Bounty extraordinaires from through the week, Tamsin Wood, and our long-suffering coach, Sassi.
Sassy. Sassy Hollywood pineapple boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, they are the Bungie Bounty. You're all about it.
Yeah, it's been a big week. We're kind of in the guts of it now, but we've basically got this 2-week run of fucking nearly every night there's an Australian streamer with the Bungie Bounty on their head. So pretty exciting time for Aussie Destiny. It's pretty awesome to be seeing, our mates at the top of the directory, killing it. So far, so good. It's been good fun, and I'm sure that me and Maddie can come along next week and ruin that for everyone. So that's really the agenda.
I'm excited.
But we'll dive into that in a minute. What we might do first is just quickly catch up with everyone, and then we'll talk Destiny. All right, Maddie, how are you going? How's your week been? The traditional. How's your week been?
I am finally back into rhythm. I had that big PhD presentation and it went well, but it set me back a week in YouTube videos. And I finally, when I get set back in videos, then Gamma Trap can't make the art because he needs about a week to make the art. So finished the law script on Tuesday. Gamma's got the stuff. The editor sent it back to me. It's all ready to go. We're going to have some cool artwork for the next video. And that's all back on track. And then I've been reading and writing for PhD stuff and just trying to get my streams in when I can in the mornings and the afternoons. So it's been good. Did some trials this morning. I love Saturday. Saturday's my favorite day because I just play games. I just play games all morning and I get a good stream in. So can't complain. And then Monday we've got the bounties. So
what time's your bounty? Oh, we'll get into that in a minute. We'll get into it in a minute. It's going to be, I'll keep going off fucking excited. Sass, how you going, mate?
Yeah, doing all right, eh? That's about it.
Yeah, good. I mean,
bullshit. This guy's just gone from zero to hero. Fucking nothing to any streams to getting the Bungie bounty to streaming nearly every goddamn day, sometimes twice a day. And he responds with, yeah, all right.
Go on. How you going?
Okay, Matt, how about you explain my week for me since you know it so much?
Well, we've been doing joint streams in the morning when we can. We had some really good comp games. Comp's actually enjoyable. The best thing about trials is it makes comp enjoyable. So
yeah, because it's easier.
Yeah. And Matt, you've been going excellent. You've had a lot of people joining your streams, and you've been doing fun streams with interacting with chat to get them to pick different weapons. You've had really good people hanging out with you. A lot of the PvP guys, hanging out in your streams and saying GGs after matches. So I don't know what you talk about.
Nothing on this. So we've been telling you for fucking years at this point to pull your finger out and start streaming. Now you've finally done it. It only took fucking Bungie to fucking
it only took the combined efforts of you guys.
And it fucking pisses me off. You got a Bungie bounty. You know me how many fucking years I had to work to get a Bungie bounty? I had hundreds of YouTube videos uploaded. I had been to the summit. I had met directors, and still I didn't have and you're like, oh, I'm not just
I didn't even put my name forward. I just got one.
Fuck you. Move on to Tasman.
You're wild up.
Yeah, this is
I
really
like your
on
shirt,
brand.
by the way. Very
You've worn the pineapple
classy.
shirt.
Yeah.
Pineapple boys.
Oh, mate, you should join that clan. You should be a pineapple boy.
Oh, and then the fancy coffee cup. Damn.
Yeah, wow. How you
Yeah,
going,
no, my
Tamsin?
week-
Just
Yeah.
quickly to anyone rocking on in the stream and watching the video, Discord's being a fucking butt face. So Tamsin
Yes.
looks like she's broadcasting from 1981, and there's nothing that we can do about that. So we're just going to write it out. Hopefully, it sorts its fucking shit out by the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
You're frozen on a really, really funny grin at the moment.
I gotta turn it off, maybe.
It's all right. Fuck it.
So yeah, I was at the Bungie Bounty on, what was that, Monday, I think, this week. I don't know, every day kind of blends
it's
into
all
one.
mushed
And
together.
prior to that, I was I had the Warzone Invitational that I played, and then on top of that, we were playing with Mitch Robinson from the Brisbane Lions, myself and Fammy. So it's been a hectic kind of week and a half.
Yeah, you did
Yeah.
that. Oh, one of our good mates, Chucky, said to say "fuck you" because he's a huge Mitch Robinson fan. So.
Yeah, it's his favorite player. He's like,
No, it's been a really good experience because he's completely new. He's been streaming, I think, for 2 years, so he's not new to games, but he's completely new to Destiny. So it's been really nice to like take someone through and kind of get him and his community involved, and just see someone be excited with the game for once.
Right.
And like he has nothing, so we're trying to do the Guardian games, but then we realized they had to do the introduction stuff and get his light level up, and then we're like, okay, you need to do Crucible. Wait, you have no guns for Crucible. So we're like, what can we do? So we took him to the Leviathan to get the Midnight Coup. And just like, I don't know, just doing random things to help him out through the game and not overwhelm him. So that's been pretty fun. Warzone was completely random, but that was fun. And then the Bungie Bounty kind of like topped it off. I think I streamed for 7 days straight.
Hey, so what?
You've been crushing
I'm going to back up.
Yeah,
a bit
watch
here.
Matty. Matty, I can tell when Matty's ready for a deep dive, and his eyes have just gone like fucking dinner plates, like they were all week last week with Wally.
I may have poked the bear.
With is it Mitch Robinson? He's been streaming for 2 years.
Yeah, I think he's been streaming for about 2 years.
What's his stream name, and what does he normally do?
So it's Mitch Robinson, and he does obviously the AFL stuff. I think he's into World of Warcraft. He's done Fortnite in the past, sort of thing. So
Right.
I think it was really a good thing to get him on board, to be honest, because
he joined you a couple times, did he not?
Yeah, so we streamed with him last Thursday. It's kind of like an every Thursday night thing. So Thursday, because I usually have Thursdays off. So I streamed the first Thursday, and the second Thursday I was like, nah, I just want to relax. I'll just help you out and hang out with the boys. So yeah, it was good.
And this invitational, this COD thing, how does that work? What was that like, and what was the format for it?
It was a sponsored event, and it was like you go in as teams of 3, so it was trios, and every kill was a point, and every win was 10 points, and it was your best 3 games in 3 hours. So,
and was there a prize up for grabs, or was it just...
No, it was just one of those. I've done Fortnite ones in the past where you just get a heap of content creators and, you know, sport professionals or esports players, and you'll kind of like shove them in together. It's all for entertainment purposes. Yeah. So one of the guys reached out to me and said he's been watching me for ages, a fan in Destiny, and asked me if I want to have a crack. And
that's right.
Played it. Yeah, we came 27 out of 31, but that's okay. I played with Kersey. So he's from the Destiny community.
Bopped 4 people, so who cares?
Yeah.
That's not your game. You're not hanging your hat on it.
Because, yeah. I mean, it was fun. I played that for 3 days straight trying to prepare myself. So I actually got a few kills every game, which was nice.
I mean, I think it's even more so as a game. Like, it's that Twitch reaction crap, because it takes 0.2 of a second to fucking kill anyone. It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Just something that popped up, and I was like, why not? I played this yesterday just coincidentally, so let's have a go at it.
Right. And then you thought, on my day off, you want to come sit and talk with us? Fuck
yeah. Oh,
fucking low point of the
week. I'm still going today. I'm just probably head deep into trials a little bit later on, but I haven't really.
Oh, I feel.
I don't think we've spoken since trials started. Hey, finding it.
It's exhausting because I'm trying to get better as well, and I've spoke to Sassi a few times and stuff like that. It just gets to a point where you don't really know. You don't feel like you're headbutting a brick wall. Like you don't really know if it's your fault or if there's some cheaters, and every third game or every second game seems to be a stacked team, especially because Australia has such a small player pool. it feels like you're matching against someone every second game. And I don't know if the token's also contributing to that. So it kind of gets to a point where you're like, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're not with the right team, someone gets angry, someone's always going to be over it. So then you just kind of see how long you can last, really.
You know what I was saying today? I felt it's a game mode that you just can't practice, and the only way to practice it is to do it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I feel like I'm really improving in all other areas of like cruise. Like I'm really enjoying comp now. I'm actually getting way further than I normally do. And then
Jugs, get out of here. I know that's you.
and then you go to trials and it's like all of a sudden I don't know which way to hold my sniper rifle. Like it feels like I'm shooting backwards.
Yeah, it was Exodus Blue. I think that's the one I kind of gave up on because I just felt like it didn't matter where I was going. I just couldn't figure out which way to go because I got all those like dipped spots throughout the map where the map kind of dips down and all these weird angles. And I was like, whatever.
I didn't mind that. Anomaly is pretty fucking rough. I've been.
Oh, thank fuck they nerfed Hardlight for it though.
Like, did they do it in the end? It's been done.
Yeah, it's done. It was done on Thursday.
It was done at weekly reset. Was it weekly reset or the day after?
It was the day after. Here's a funny story. So you guys all know Senchi, right?
No.
And so he's just been coming back to playing Destiny after playing like months of nothing but Tarkov. And he's just come in and he came to me Thursday and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey, I just realized, you know this hard light, eh? Yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was. I used it yesterday and I was like popping off with it, man. And then I used it this morning and it's just like, it's not it, Chief. It's just not it." And I'm like, yeah, because it's been nerfed. Oh, well, is that it?
I mean, that's wonderful news, really. Like, as someone who's not kept up with the news, to actually feel the impact of it.
Yeah, Tamsin, when are you getting on the Tarkov train, mate?
Oh no.
I think my brain's too small for Tarkov. That and
Can't
Valorant.
say that.
My brain goes 100 miles an hour, and I'm like constantly cross-eyed. I've got the game. I've had it since it had the pre-beta sale thing.
Oh, really?
Quite early on, yeah. I've had it since then. And I've played it a few times. I played it when you would be like on your way out, and then your teammates running along this bridge, and then they just keep running, and then you're like, oh, they lagged out. This game's been fun. And then
lose my game.
Yeah, and then I'm dead. So, I mean, I'm always down to play. It's just more trying to figure out who I can kill and how, and then the rest of the gun stuff I don't even bother about.
You pretty much don't want to say that to me or Sassy because we're not as addicted as we were before. And look at this, look at Long's like, fuck, Matt's getting carried away with Tarky. Stop.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You know what? One day, look, I'll make you promise. Make you promise right here, right now. Next time we do something for charity, I'll make one of the things that I'll play Tarky with you. That'll be a.
How many people is there in a team? Can there be all four of us?
You can do a 5. You can do a 5-man.
Oh, well, there we go. I'll come.
If you do 5, someone is bound to be team killed.
Yeah, the funny thing about 5 is you will shoot each other by accident 100%.
Yeah, that's what I struggled with. I'm like, can you all just wear like bright pink hats or something like that?
Bro, accident.
I struggle to not shoot Matt all the time.
Oh. Anyway, let's not talk about Tarky. We'll take it for the end.
I've been playing World of Warcraft and I'm addicted to Animal Crossing too. Obviously, before this podcast, I was slightly late because I got stuck on a WoW raid and then left and then got stuck on Animal Crossing while I was cooking my food
and
painting my face.
I have a question. So, is Animal Crossing kind of like Stardew Valley in terms of like there's not really much to do apart from just like terraforming and farming and fishing and whatnot?
I mean, it's very like you can collect a lot of things. That's kind of what's keeping me going. You know, you can collect all the crafting recipes, you can collect bugs, you can collect fish. There's now paintings, there's fossils, and the island is quite customizable. And there's a lot of different things. Like if you want to have a home gym, you can have a home gym. If you want to have, like, I set up a Starbucks stall. There's people do QR codes and they create their own designs, and you can put them in the game. And someone made the whole entire like Pokemon. I don't know, one of the leagues or whatever, made the whole entire map. So you're walking on this person's island and it's like Pokemon. Looks exactly like it.
That's so cool. Is that PvP?
No.
Yeah, I'm not in this.
I was like, I usually go to people's islands and hit them with a fishing net and go, bah! But that's about it.
Is that right, okay. Is the fishing net
I
the meta weapon, or is it?
It's very addicting, and I think a lot of people were more addicted to it than they realized, sort of thing.
Yeah, because I played a lot of Stardew Valley. I have a Switch, but I just don't know if it's worth going.
There's like reasons why you have to, like, in the morning I get up, I water my flowers, I clean my island, and I have checked who's crafting before 12, and then you have to like sell all your stuff, and your shop closes at certain times, and on Sundays you have the stock market, so you gotta buy turnips, and then like
this sounds like fucking real life.
I know. If there's a turnip stock market, is this like gasoline?
Maddie, what are you giggling about?
Yes,
I saw you fucking lose your shit.
I'm just imagining the person that's trying to post the fucking podcast starts at this scene. I'm just imagining them like temperature slowly getting hotter and hotter and angrier as we go on. Oh my god, that's why I was giggling, because I just thought, we've dived into a deep hole here about Animal Crossing
and Tarkov and literally everything except Destiny. So fucking whatever. All right. Well, look, we'll finish up. I had a good week this week. And I'm wearing sleeves because it's cold. That's about it.
I got my leggings on. I'm excited.
You got a kick. Where is it? Show it.
The guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's in the back.
It's there. It's
glossy. It's your new baby
too.
That is so good.
It's white.
Like so cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm doing for the rest of my life. So good. All right. Well, what we might do is play the jingle, come back in, and talk about Bungie Bounties and go through the news of the week. So, hit it. All right. So the big announcement of yesterday, because Bungie fucking sprung it on me that I didn't know it was going to be in the TWAB. That's it, I guess, suppose should have been. But Matt and myself both have Bungie Bounties in this coming week. So Matt's is at some early time because he's a morning person, and mine is probably the latest one that we've had so far. So, Matty, when's yours at? Monday, 11 a.m.?
4th of May, 9 a.m. Western Australian time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Australia.
So what time does that work out for the States?
It's like 6 p.m. or something. States.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
that's bad.
So I think we'll probably have a lot of. I'd be interested to see how it goes. We'll have a lot of US audience, because that's when my normal audience
content
is from anyway. It's like it's 80% US. Be interesting how many Aussies come along, because it's public holiday in Queensland and
it is. I totally forgot.
Northern Territory.
I'm gonna snipe you.
and then I guess I don't know. I think it's probably the best time to have. I've never done a bounty during the day. I think I've always switched my time for the afternoon in the pre. So it'd be cool to do one during my normal stream time, and then with coronavirus, a lot of people are home, so it'll be interesting to see how many show up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much it changes. Mine's at 9 p.m. on Thursday night, Aussie time, so East Australian time, which is like 4 a.m. Western in the States. It's like 11 a.m. maybe midday in the UK, and I think 7 a.m. on East Coast America time. But that's my usual time slot, and given that I'm still going to work, I don't have much fucking sway over it, so I'm just going to do it when I can. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, these pair have both jumped through and done theirs through the week, so I guess we'll defer to them and get some key learnings so we can go into it forewarned and forearmed. But
yes, actually, so, I've got a something for you.
I think you killed it, mate. Like, honestly, you were the first of all of us, and that's kind of at that point, no one really knows what's going to happen.
The test dummy.
Yeah. Crash test dummy.
No, I asked. Sorry, I'm playing around with my camera settings. I asked for the first one just because it was, like, in all honesty, it was my main goal this year was to be the Bungie Bounty. Like, I think I told Fez a long time ago, I was like, if there's one thing I want to achieve, it's being the Bungie Bounty, without knowing that any of this was even going to be a thing. So I was like, no, I want to be first. I want to like hype it up, and I want to do it right, because obviously I keep saying this is why we all came together, because we had some bad Bungie bounties. So I wanted to do it right, and kind of show everyone and do the community proud. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, you set the bar really high.
Yeah.
Yeah. 850 I maxed out, and I think I had one host. So that was
how many?
850.
Yeah, nice. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Bungie were like, "You're on top of the directory."
It's always tough when you get people that aren't from your community in chat. It's such an interesting dynamic when you get that many people that haven't either built a relationship, with this stream yet, and how they're like so many idiots and just get banned and then what was I banned for? Like you're a
I'm still getting messages asking questions, and I just screenshot what they sent in chat, and I was like, "You tell me why." I said to my community and my mods, I modded an extra few people, and I said to my community, like, this is our time to shine. Let's show them how awesome and positive we are. So every time someone said something, we just shoved positivity down their throat, and we were just spamming stuff in chat ourselves. And I was after every single match, I was make sure we all say GG and congratulations and clap and stuff like that. So everyone kind of got in the mood to that. So as soon as a game was over, there was more positivity than negativity, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I've just after Sassi stream, because I was watching his and Holmes, every time someone does a stream, we're kind of taking note of what's happening. Because we're a small enough community in Australia, we kind of know, not faces, names and stuff like that. So we've kind of been helping each other, hosting out each other as well once the Bungie Bounty's done, to let everyone know. We've been messaging and being this is what happened in my chat, this is the best way to avoid it. Holmes actually put together a Google Doc, which I will send to you guys, just saying these are the things you should change in your moderation, these are the things you should change in your Discord, et cetera, just to help each other out. So that's been really nice. I don't know. It's a really nice thing, because I don't think any other community would do what we've done.
I mean, I think by virtue of size, we're always going to be more close knit, right? That's always been the thing that's made what we do down here work. Because we all know each other. We all, it's not like America where there's 100 million people doing different things or whatever. We're all pretty close. So I guess in that sense, we're all sort of looking out for each other a bit. But there was a few dickheads, and there's always going to be dickheads. And I think that's what Matt's getting at, in that when you force a whole heap of people together, not necessarily organically, and it's goal driven, there's going to be people who get the shits. There's going to be people who act the fuck with. So, but for the most part, people have been pretty good. So I'm sure that'll continue. And it's Holmes went great last night. He killed it. So
Holmes crushed it.
Yeah.
My stream was almost the complete opposite of Tamsin's. While it was all about positivity, I kind of let a lot of the toxic slide.
You just let him go, and they're going to burn himself out.
Literally.
Yeah, we'll see how they're going. We'll see how they're going at the back end of that end of next week. I might just let him go as well. Fuck it, whatever.
It's just because I literally said because my ace in the hole was one. All the guys that usually were going to be super toxic, I have a direct line of communication to them. I wouldn't say that I'm friends, but I know them. And then I've got Aura, who's a mod of mine, who's also one of my best mates, who does the same thing. So you were kind of able to just send them a direct message, just being like, "Can you not?" and then basically what happened once, I was okay with some of the toxic things, because Australia is so close knit. When you see in the chat people ragging on each other, sometimes more often than not, they're actual just friends, and everyone kind of knows each other because of that. So I was more lenient in terms of letting them go a little bit crazy in terms of that. And I understand that it's definitely not the nicest thing for a new player to come into and just be like, what the heck's going on? Why am I typing !claim in the chat for no reason?
Look, I tell you what, you come into my bounty and you talk any of that shit, you're gonna get banned, and to get back in, you have to tell me a law facts. It's the only way you get back.
That's what I was saying. I was like, can you write me a 500-word essay why I should unban you, or about the history of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think my person, and I've been like this for 4 years. I've been like, I understand there's banter between two people, but you really got to like understand that if someone new was to come into my stream and they were to see that, it reflects badly on me, and I'm very overly positive. So I'm like, we just don't. It's like a full on. I don't tolerate any sort of banter. Even at like some of my friends or some of my mods, I'll be like, calm down, like, we're about all inclusive and that. But that's just me. And I understand the Australian banter, and I think that's like the community there is. You got your Australian banter where you are literally dicks to each other, and then you have a competitive environment like comp or trials, and you like Destiny. You shove that all in one little box. It's like bound to explode,
Yeah, it becomes a bit too intense.
Yeah, exactly.
And it basically boiled down to those guys were trying to toe the line a lot, and then once you just impress the fact that there is a line, and if you go over it, then I'm gonna just get my mods to ban you, and I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
and everyone kind of just calmed down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, like the other factor is like Tamsin's a chick, and people tend, like the people who are toxic little fuckheads tend to be scared of girls or whatever. I don't know. They're weird.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they lack social skills and breathe through their mouth. So, you kind of got to be a little bit more careful about it than, who's going to come in and say something that's going to really ruffle my feathers. Fucking good luck.
Yeah. I don't mind. It was more just other people.
You're ugly. Yeah.
Oh shit, man. You're shit at Destiny, and
the hardest thing about it was not the people, because I trusted my community, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was being said. I literally didn't read any of the stuff that was being said at all. It was more just I was trying to like go in there, but then my brain was going 100 miles at once, and I'm so used to watching chat, but I couldn't watch chat. And I was like trying to play well and be like, play well, show everyone you're actually a decent player. And then I just kept losing. And then like you do see the odd comment where like, oh, you like, why do you keep throwing? And you're like, fuck, I'm trying not to throw. And it's just, and then next thing I know, I'm like watching chat and not watching the game. So
yeah, I think it's a pretty extreme balancing act when it, like the chats are moving super quick. So keeping up with it as a streamer and hoping to put your best foot forward gameplay wise is, I mean, you just can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, like Sass, you're like letting chat choose the loadout each game. I thought it was pretty novel. I mean, I'm not going to do it because I'm fucking garbage and I need my loadout to look good. But you could do it. And then finally, the last game of the night, you got a decent sniper in your hands and just went fucking ham. And I think that was a pretty fitting way to close it out. So, I mean, Tamsin, how did you find it? The games are pretty sweaty and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't focusing. Like I couldn't even tell. Like it was sweaty. Like I think I won 4 out of 10 games, or 4 out of 7 or something. Maybe 3 out of 7. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Like I was just in this weird, like, I don't know what's going on phase. I think it's like I was high or something like that, just running around like, yeah. So I don't know. I was just trying to like click heads. I wasn't paying attention to like how the games were playing, but I mean, I lost more than I won. So I'm going to say
that's a good thing though. That's a good thing though, because it means you gave out more emblems.
Yeah.
Yes, that was my point. That's exactly why I was trying not to block. But I think I like how everyone has gone on with the whole you can't block other people from getting the emblems. I really like how everyone's kind of carried that along, because that was a problem in the past. So I was like, that's my main rule. We're not having this happen again. And then everyone who's been streaming Sassi Loves Homes, everyone's just been like following along with that, which has been nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes back to not being a fucking dickhead, eh? Like,
yeah,
if you've got the emblem,
which is what we're trying to do, like just be a good person. How hard is it,
Yeah, if you've got the emblem, just sit out and give someone else a go. It's not, you just look like an asshole repeatedly.
Yeah,
ruining it for other people.
If I lose all my games, it's because I care, community. That's
same.
I'm throwing on person.
If you lose all your games, Maddie, I am personally asking Bungie to not give you the emblem because you didn't.
Mate.
Do you get it as the person who is the bounty? Do you get the emblem if you win?
If you win, I see.
I was just like, do you have to win one? I was like, what happens if you lose all of it? Does that mean even you miss out? You just
hope so.
I think I just match
the game and just read Grimoire cards.
All right. Well, I guess the other big bit of news this week was the nerfs to hard light. So I don't know. We probably won't get into the specifics of it, but very timely in terms of being back on Anomaly this week, which was super, super, super shitty with it the first time around because of so many right-angled walls and making it very easy to get the ricochets. So, Matty, you've had a jump in this week. Did you come up against it at all?
We only came. It was only noticeable. It wasn't even noticeable. There was never a huge amount of time where I was like, fucking hard light. Like, we had one team that were all rocking hard lights and mountaintops, and even them, they didn't perform anywhere near as well as what it was before. The main thing was people just gone back to shotguns, really. I would say was probably the main thing. Sassi was there too. I think just shotgun and Antius wards.
Yeah.
Dude, shotguns and Antius wards were...
Yeah, man.
That was strong. That was really strong in Anomaly.
I'll tell you what, it's strong. Mr. Power Slave.
Yes.
Summoner.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
dude,
I was about to ask,
gun.
is the Summoner coming up? I was trying to find what are the more popular guns now.
Summoner melts, man.
I was using Summoner over fucking hard light anyway. So for me, it's good news.
Hurts.
Oh, it is.
So Mindbender's Ambition, the Summoner is the next one.
Pretty much sums up what we saw.
And Bastion.
Yeah.
Bastion.
Antius wards, I just had Titans charging towards me and just sliding so often. They were basically invulnerable. You really got to time them between slides to get in your own shotgun.
Yeah, know how I feel about Summoner. When Bungie put out a tweet this morning to do like show off your Titan fashion or whatever, and in my infinite wisdom and sign of rebellion, I just sent a Titan with the level 0 basic armor and a pair of Antaeus wards, and I was like, there you go.
Yeah, that's why you didn't have any drums in chat the other night, Sass, because you are one of the toxic dickheads. I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting in and having a run tonight. I mean, this is the only map that I've gone flawless on, so I'm looking forward to seeing if I can replicate that. The other thing that was in the TWAB this week was a couple of big things, actually. The first one was clarification around the numbers for Guardian games. Now, we've seen a lot of conjecture about how it's weighted and all of that sort of stuff. And if you like statistics, you can go and jump in and check out how they set up the weighting system and all of that jazz. But the long and short of it is that Titans are winning because they're winning, and that's the end of it. So
and Hunters are losing because we're fucking lazy.
Wait, so did they tell you how did they weight it? Did they tell you how they weighted it?
Yeah, they went off the population of each class for the 30 days before Guardian games started. So it's not current. So and it's set up in a way so that if you do less than the average participation, that you can actually harm your class. So it's not averaged out.
You won't bend over your class by putting in one medal. Every medal will count.
Or playing and not doing the objective. So it's
I saw Jace Sniperton do a post because he's obviously a Warlock main. He was like, we need to win. So he put up a post saying like keep your medals for 2 days. I think it was like every third day to put. How does it work? Is that a thing?
Fucking Warlocks to take this shit way too seriously.
Warlocks doing math over there playing the fucking long con, trying to work out how to
calculate like a plan of attack to win. Like,
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. We aren't doing anything.
Titans just like medal, yes. Put in, yes. Medal.
Just do the things. Do the things.
That guy that do the things. Freaking.
Hunters are just in the Crucible, like, what? There's an event going on. Shit.
I'm too cool for this. I don't even want to cry.
Not gonna lie, I haven't been really doing it, and I don't even think I'm gonna get the machine gun. I was like, I'll just wait for Zer because
I did the same.
I don't know, it wasn't enticing. And what's another exotic that I'm just gonna vault and.
Unless it's really good, then I might do it. But I don't know. I'm not hearing that.
Man, if Eva Levante was directly in between the tower spawn and Shax, Hunters would be killing it right now. But it's slightly out of the way, so it's completely ignored.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone cares, and I think that's why we're in this situation.
I mean, I have to do it because of Heir Apparent, which is actually a beast of a machine gun. But
Is it worth it, you
that's the
reckon?
only reason I'm doing it. Oh,
Okay.
it is completely worth it.
Yeah, I've
Right.
heard it's a good machine gun, but
What does it do?
So you can't aim down sights. It's just like a minigun. So aiming down sights just causes it to like spool up, and then left click just releases hell, and you get a nice big fat arc shield around you.
Is that what that is? I've seen
shield?
that. I've seen the shield.
Yeah,
Just,
is that what that is? Is it arc shield?
And it just tears thing up. It just tears everything up. It's such
How
a
does
good
the arc
exotic.
shield work in PvP?
You get it, and same as if there was like an elemental shield in PvE. So if you're using like an arc weapon and you pop it, it does like the little elemental explosion and everything.
oh,
So yeah, you can kill your teammates by using it, because if they pop your shield and they're low, they just die from the explosion.
It's not PvE only.
No. So
Yeah,
you
because
get
I have seen it in Crucible,
Yeah,
but
it
does
gives
it
you a-
still pop?
Yeah,
It does still
it
pop.
still pops. Yeah. So if you use like a risk runner or something against it, it'll blow up and it'll like damage all the teammate or your guys around it. But it's actually a pretty beefy shield. You can tank a lot of things with it. You can tank like a sniper rifle headshot. You can tank like a golden gun. So
what?
that's interesting.
All right, okay. Maybe I will try then. All of a sudden, I'm
But
inspired.
then I feel like
Guardian
if
Games
there
is
was
great.
Wait for there.
Yeah, if there was a reason for like to do it, I was like, I will. But
Yeah.
there's no like raid. There's
yeah.
no like meta grand. You don't use. I don't think people have been using it in the Grandmaster Nightfalls as like the meta gun. So
Nah, we haven't.
not that I've even been doing them anyway. So
No, it's basically just been Divinity 2 as Anagi's. Like,
Yeah.
still, yeah, the usual.
If I could just, I don't know, man. I just don't feel like playing anything else apart from PvP, because I actually am enjoying PvP at the moment, and I don't want to go and do Gambit. I don't want to go and even do Strike Mix, because I only need Pinnacles now, and I'm sort of a little bit lost on motivation to even do Pinnacles, unfortunately.
I've been lazy with mine, and I think I've hit 10 on one character and 109 on my other characters.
Oh, you're
I'm
ahead
the
of
same.
even then. You're well ahead of me. Fucking hell. I've been super lazy. I've just been playing trials. That's it. Like really that.
Yeah.
And fucking just normal comp or whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, good yarn, log. So further to that in the 12, there's a whole heap of conversation around the seasonal structure, the narrative structure of the seasons, and the way they're going to service content going forward. Now, I think there's a lot of smart moves in it. Basically, they're saying that activities, for the most part, will be remaining. Some of the smaller components of each season will go, but basically anything that comes out in a seasonal past year will last for a year. Rather than being sunset at the end of the season, like we've seen with, like the Sundial and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be good, provided that they give reason to go back and be doing that content. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and do nothing. So, I think it's a good move to try and get that shithouse FOMO that sort of crept into Destiny out. I think it'll also give people, and this is important, I think it'll give people the opportunity to just step away from the game for a bit and be able to come back and enjoy it and have, quite a bit of content there to touch base. I mean, we're all sort of lifers in that respect. We're playing Destiny all the time anyway. Maybe not Matt. Matt kind of comes and goes between Taki and that. I mean, he's always on the law, but I think where we are right now is a super, super clear example of why sometimes you can't keep everyone playing the same game all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Because everyone just gets fucking burnt out, and then they don't give a shit at all, and they're better off
the Destiny community do more harm to themselves by like forcing themselves to play a game that they're not enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And do it all in the first 2 days.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago, if I was ever going to be able to continue to make YouTube content, that I couldn't burn myself out on fucking playing the game, because I would just hate every fucking moment of writing content and making content. And that's why I always just, if I don't want to play it, I just don't play it.
Yeah, but I would also argue, and this is what I've been trying to push as feedback, that Destiny now feels like it's a game that has to be played all the time. Because if you don't play it all the time, then you won't be relevant for enough for the end game activities that they're trying to push out, and you will get that FOMO.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Sassy. It is based on FOMO, and it's like that's two sides of the coin. That's a you thing too. Like,
yeah.
So you need to have a think: is what's worse, you being constantly angry because you're not happy with the game and forcing yourself to play hours of Destiny so you avoid FOMO, or like being happy and using gaming as your relaxation space, which is what it is for a lot of people, and having maybe fear of missing out and being like, oh, it's okay, I missed that. Like, I think there's a mindset in general for the Destiny community that is way more geared towards fear of missing out than it is like, I should be using gaming for enjoyment.
Yeah, but there's also people who find enjoyment in collecting things. And if you're one of those people who wants to get the Conqueror title, let's say, where you have to do all the Grandmaster things, you are forced to play the game so you can get it to that level.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though, like, that's the cycle. That's an addictive cycle then. Like, that's the whole point of these kind of games.
Well, that's what they're getting rid of too, right?
That's to an extent. I mean, I think there's always going to be like a power level chase. I
think Bungie's been good.
But...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're right. Go for it, man.
I've always said that's why Destiny's done, or Bungie have done so well, because they create that FOMO, but I've never felt that FOMO in such a negative way as I have like the past maybe 6 months, I think, or so. Yeah. Like, I said that in D1. I said because, it was a different FOMO. It was like the new DLC was coming out, right? So it was one of the big ones that lasted however long they lasted. And I would always say to people, pre-order it, because you won't pre-order it and then your friends will have it. And then you're worried that they're doing content that you don't have access to, so then you'll buy it. And that's why they keep doing so well, because if like you keep buying new content to keep going. But and that was like a good FOMO. I think this is now a different sort of FOMO. But then I don't have it as much at the moment because I don't force myself to play the game. I kind of just, when I feel like playing Destiny, I'll stream Destiny. If I feel like playing Animal Crossing, I'll do that. If I want to do WoW, I'll do that. And I still play Destiny a couple days a week, but I think the only exhaustion comes from trials, because that's like, I have 3 days to do this, and then you get on, you play, you get over it, you get off, you get on, you get on it, you get over it, you get off. It's just like 3 days that just come back, like, 3-4 days, that's the only thing I get tired of. But
I mean, like, to sort of keep along with that point, like, Sassy, like, we've definitely changed our attitudes with trials, right? Especially when you're streaming. Like, we go in there with the mindset of just like absolute having a goof and like zero pressure. And I enjoy trials when it's like that. I obviously really want to get to the lighthouse, but I've actually just been having just heaps of fun.
That's also because that I've got flawless, so I don't care anymore. So
yeah, so maybe it'd be different if you didn't have flawless.
See, I go in to get better. That's why I play. So I'm not so concerned about going flawless. I'm more concerned about how my games feel, and because it feels like a stacked person every third game. That's, I guess, why I get over it. I don't care if I don't get flawless. I just care if I have a good game, and 90% of the time they're not good games.
Yeah, but it's different again when you're streaming too. Like, that adds a extremely different factor onto Destiny, because I can play Destiny way longer on stream than I can by myself. Like, I'll get to a point where I'm like, I don't feel like playing anymore. But, if I'm streaming it, chat makes it enjoyable and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you can go for a little bit longer. I know it's an interesting conversation. I'll be interesting to see what people say about me sort of critiquing fear of missing out. It's okay to not get everything, because I do think that's just a huge drive of the Destiny community. And I
would say
we touched on this last week with Wally. We touched on this last week with Wally, and it's kind of like there's a subset of the community that honestly believes that by buying the game they're entitled to every single thing in it. And I think that plays into this, right? Like, where, you have to grind a fucking long time to get to the light level to be able to get in and do the Grandmaster Nightfalls, and then to get that title, right? Like, there's a lot of work in that. But there's people who'll never get that feel like they probably should be able to get that, because they're
losing the value of those titles too, and they're almost diluting them with how many. Like, I don't care. I've definitely got to the point where I don't care about them anymore because there's too many of them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
unbroken doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you've got flawless, it just means you played with a hacker at some point. If you've got
Pay for
record, it
it.
means you hated yourself for about 3 months.
And if you've got
Um,
shadow, it just means you dragged all your mates back to a fucking raid for weeks on end. Like an
what I was
insufferable
interested
piece
in-
of shit.
kind of time back with how they're saying they're not getting rid of content, and does that kind of help with the lore aspect of things? Like, does that get you excited with the fact they're not retiring stuff? And it kind of sounds like they, I don't know, maybe
I've
they'll.
never prioritized collecting lore cards in game ever.
No, he uses this Chuck Collective.
Like,
Yeah,
do
I
you
just-
think they're
He doesn't
gonna?
even have the Chronicler title. Like,
No, I mean, do you think they're gonna continue like? Because you get the main issue with Laura is that they'll tell a story and then they'll stop, right? And there's like all these
Yeah,
questions,
they-
right?
yeah, they're in Luke Smith's sort of post, and I haven't read the TWAB this week, but I assume one of the overarching things is to try to connect the seasonal content
Yeah.
narratively, to have a bit more threads running through that. And I think we are starting to just see that with, say, the pyramid ships being added to Rasputin's bunker. That is a connection point with Shadowkeep. And I think they're going to be working obviously towards that overarching narrative arc, and every season should add a little bit to that story. I'm still of the opinion that they probably could do it more. Like, I really don't think we needed the Almighty in this season. I think it could have been about the pyramid ships completely, but
I think it depends what
it's
happens.
taken
with
so long to fucking get there.
I think
depends
I
what
think
happens
I
with
think
the
with the
Almighty.
Almighty, it depends what happens with it, right? Like
we just push it. We get a bunch of ships and we just like push it towards the pyramid ships.
Like I'm hoping that there's something that comes along, that there's a realization that is born of dealing with the Almighty. And maybe it's just that Rasputin can help us. Maybe, we spoke about this last week as well, that this is kind of like the MacGuffin scenario where we finally side with Rasputin and undeniably know which side he stands on, because he's always been that kind of opaque character in Destiny's history. But I mean, and it is touched on explicitly at the start of the passage in the TWAB that they're trying to actively do a better job of linking season to season and sort of transitioning from the back end of one season into the front end of the next. So that kind of really didn't happen last season at all. When you think about coming out of Season of the Worthy, hang on, we're in Season of the Worthy. What was the Season of Dawn into Worthy? It was kind of like, okay, well, that one finished. We built the lighthouse. Now Trials is back. I guess that's, points for effort there. But the story with Zavala and Anna Bray and the Almighty and Rasputin and all of that is just like a, it's a standalone incident. So what I'm hoping is that we start to see that kind of build and build and build into, like, I'm fine spending 3 months on a specific smaller part of the story, but it's understanding where it fits into the greater part of the story that I think people get the shits with, because it feels like you're just being, like, oh, this week we're doing Rasputin's laundry, and then the fucking, the next week what are we doing all this shit for? I'm hoping, and I think with the pyramid ships being added to Rasputin's bunkers and that sort of thing, it's starting to tie a few elements together that it'll ultimately pay off in a satisfying way when we've, laid the groundwork to be able to do all of these things. Yeah. I always felt like, and we've spoken about this, Matt, like a long time ago, that we always felt like Destiny had enough interesting characters that, that they'd set the stage well enough that they could start telling more involved stories with it, because they don't necessarily need to go and be telling the backstory of fucking everything anymore. And I think we're finally starting to see that come to fruition a little bit here. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope. I think one of the things that goes against Destiny, and is not set a precedent for resolving storylines. It's a little bit like,
nah, they're pretty bad.
A relationship where you're like, I know how this is going to work out, but I still want to stick around. Like, everyone's like, maybe it'll be different this time. Like, we sort of needs to have like
Matthew.
A precedent. It sort of needs to be a precedent where it's like, if something gets introduced, the player base knows that eventually it'll be resolved. It's like Curse of the Dreaming City. Imagine if it was like, gets introduced, you're like, cool, this is a cool story. I'm going to invest time in understanding it because I know after 4 seasons, we'll get a resolution. Pyramid ships, cool. I'm going to invest time in this story because I know we'll get a resolution. Exo Stranger, I want to know about this person, this character, because I know we'll find information about it. It's never really had
the power vacuum from Oryx's death.
Like I know I've said this many times. It's just the threads that have never been wrapped up, and I think they need to start setting a precedent for starting arcs and closing arcs in a satisfying way.
I just think that like video games by definition, when you're transitioning out of a bit of content and you haven't actually beaten a boss or something, it kind of feels hollow. Like, especially now, because you're kind of along for this ride, you know, like last season, it was all just bank your stonks and then the season ended. And now we're here. I'm hoping that with the Almighty that there's like, if we get to go back there for a level and we have to go in there and do something or, you know, run around in that sort of zone for a little while and then Rasputin blows it up. You know, there's mission objectives. I feel like there needs to be a deliberate action to finish this. And if you're not around for that season, then you don't get that and that's gone. But there needs to be something that's just there, just to like an actual active participation thing that sort of brings the story to a close in the last couple of weeks. Because I think that's the part of it that's, you know, like we had the little cutscene where you put your thing in the Osiris's thing, but that sounded really bad. Anyway,
the Dorito ships showing up in the bunker, that was also a nice surprise.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like if they can get to the point where they can, you know, if they don't have to leave things behind so much, I guess they don't need to be so conscious of at what points they deliver story, I guess. I'm hoping anyway. So they might be able to build a bit of a more cohesive story over a whole year rather than like, oh, this all needs to be tied to this because this is in the lore cards for this activity. And this is the only 3 months where you can get them. So anyway, I don't know. What do I know? Just an idiot. Just ran on for half an hour and then.
Log's like, oh, I know, I'm just an idiot. And he just spouts like 15 minutes of pure gold.
Yeah, you should take some notes, Sassi. Take some fucking notes, mate.
I'm not gonna go there. But
the thing is that I speak.
I was gonna say, Log, and
I speak in the moment. I speak in the moment, and I'm not listening to my own words, and I don't know. I'm just gonna speak, and then at the end of it, I'll forget what I've said for the most part, and I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember what I said. I'm an idiot. Just as a caveat.
Law power slave.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, that, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it as much as the next bloke, but that Maddie can have that title. Fuck that. Too much reading for me. All right. Well, what we might do, we might open chat up to some questions. So if you've got anything that you think is pertinent for discussion and you're rocking on in the stream, you can go for your life. But yeah, we're at that. So I don't know. I mean,
fucking Jug.
Yeah, we can see Jugs. If you're watching the video of this, you'll see. If you're listening to this, Sassi's actually sitting in a tower. He doesn't have his camera on because he's a government agent and kills people for a living, just with his high, shrill voice. And he's just got his character loaded in Zavala's office, and we're pretty sure it's Jugs that's teabagging behind him periodically.
I know it's Jugs. It's 100% Jugs. No Warlock is that ugly.
The real question is, when is the podcast getting together for drinks and pizza? When the Rona fucks off, mate. When the Rona fucks off, I'm like, I was pretty gutted when all of this just spiraled out of control because it made me go, shit, we might not get a PAX this year. We might not be able to, because PAX last year was incredible for the community. And, we had all had a great time and, came home and basically went on fucking dialysis because we'd done that much damage to our bodies with alcohol. But I'd like to do that again. And that will absolutely be when we all get together. So hopefully the Rona's under control by then. We don't need to worry so much about social distancing as much as it would be welcome on the show floor at PAX because fuck me, I've never spelt BO like that in my life. But beyond that, that's the plan. I mean, I don't know. We're doing our best to do it virtually. We actually last night we played Jackbox games. Me and my better half, and Maddie and Danny and Sass and a few of the boys, and it was good fun. So if you're feeling a bit isolated and you've got mates that you can jump into Discord with, and just it was just background to banter, like the games themselves. And it was great.
Video calls now on Discord.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, except for today. Today they're a bit shit. Maybe
What,
there's like a server capacity thing has shifted to like the video chat servers rather than calls, because this is a direct call. We might have to change it.
Yeah, even if PAX
maybe.
isn't on, we might try to do some sort of like community event from.
Yeah, I'm sure we might be able to like do another community event like we did in Sydney. It just depends on everything, really.
It's just,
has PAX said anything about?
No, I think they're waiting.
But
there's a lot of that. They're run out of the
honestly,
States too.
It's
I think.
unlikely.
What?
They're run out of the States too. So, I mean, that's the additional layer of complication is like we may well have eliminated coronavirus here by October, as much as a pipe dream that sounds. You know, it's not impossible.
Well, international, flights and stuff.
That you won't be able to get here from overseas. So,
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to carry around iPads for Bungie people, and they can be like an iPad on the front of a fucking Segway and virtually be there. Canberra's corona free at the moment. That's Azarius. You know what? Canberra is also free of personality and has been since the moment it existed.
Wow.
So, except for Nick. Nick's the best person in Canberra. What a legend.
I heard the gyms in Northern Territory are opening up in 2 weeks, maybe. So that's a positive note. I'm excited for that. I think everyone's gonna go back twofold.
Tennis Queensland said that they're open. It's on like a per court club basis on whether they want to open or not, and the fucking Noosa one said nah.
Dude, tennis is like inherently socially distanced.
I know. I'm like, bro, I just want to go hit with a mate. Like, come on.
You know what upsets me is I don't know when I'm going to go back to jiu-jitsu because like sweating on each other. Like last time I trained, like
it's not a particularly hygienic sport.
My fucking eyeball while we're wrestling. So I'm just getting fat as hell. I just don't like any other sport. I'm fucking punching people.
I just want to go to the pub.
Yeah.
Everyone else is talking about exercise. I just want to go and sit in the fucking tab and put some punts on.
Probably triple the amount of alcohol since I've finished my 8-week challenge, lost a heap of weight, and then turned into an alcoholic pretty much.
You know, look, no, you probably won't get this out of anyone else, but I'm proud of you.
But I was sitting there with a cart of 10-pack of ciders, and my roommate Jay's just laughing at me. I'm like, "What are you laughing?" He's like, "You got another 10-pack of ciders. You bought one like yesterday," and I was like, "I know."
You got to get off the ciders, man. There's too much sugar in that.
Too much sugar in that shit.
I'm on the low carb ciders, all right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just bad, to be honest. It's all alcohol, so.
Yeah, Scotchy.
I'm the same. I just want to do F45. Like, I don't want to go do anything else. I don't want to walk. I don't want to do my home workouts. I just want to go to F45. I just want to throw myself around the floor at F45 because they've got those really good squishy floors, whereas my tiles at home hurt a lot. So
yeah, right.
Sounds like you need to invest in a squishy floor.
You know, everything is sold out, like Bunnings. Just
motherfucker.
You can't find gym equipment or anything anywhere. Like, it's ridiculous. And then by the time I buy one, we're going to be able to work out again, and it's going to sit there doing nothing because I hate working out at home. So, but yeah, that's exciting. I've been trying to like con people to come do it. I was like, you pay $25 a week, you could be international if you wanted. It's a week by week thing, and you just meet up 3 different times every morning, and you got friendly faces yelling at you on the other side, and you can see everyone else, and just like being there really.
I'm just proud of chat too, just talking about pretty serious alcohol consumption. If there was ever a bastion of degeneracy among the Destiny community, you've fucking found it here. It's bad.
Danny worked out how to like make whiskey sours, and my god, they were beautiful. We just smashed a whole bunch of cocktails one night, and we're like, fuck. We went through a whole bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of alcohol to last me the next week, and I drank basically all of it last night. So.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
Yeah, I mean, Sass historically, you're not a big drinker either, and like playing Trolls with you last Saturday night, and we were all drinking. Like, fuck, I'm used to being able to turn up half cut and get carried. What's going on? Like,
Sassy, you can't drink, you got to carry me.
Yeah, you can't. Come on, man.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think like it's all coping mechanisms. That's what it is. everyone's finding their way to it's stress relief as much as it's not healthy long term. I don't think anyone's looking to make a habit out of these things, and it's just doing it to get through until all this shit blows over.
I hope the general population keeps up the hygiene. That'll be.
It's gonna be weird. I think it is gonna be like, I don't know.
I think people feel like a lot more nervous about people like openly sneezing or coughing or just being generally grotty.
I think everyone's gonna be a lot more fit too. I hope.
Yeah.
Like,
because you're gonna love that one kid, that one 5-year-old that wipes their nose and then runs their hand down the railing as they walk down the stairs or something. You just like internally you throw up. It's like
I just want to be able to retain the ability to look at anyone who comes within 1.5 meters of me with abject disgust. Just
like everyone's carrying a zombie virus.
Get the fuck away from me! Like, what are you doing?
There was a great tweet that I saw. It was like, there was like a Karen. Everyone, there was a Karen.
Everyone knows Karens.
Within 1.5 meters of me, and I turned around and I asked her, "Do you mind if you like back away for social distancing?" She's like, "Fine, I'll back away." And she goes and stands like 6 feet away. Joke's on her. That's exactly what I fucking wanted her to do.
All right, we're gonna
even further, please.
We got a ruthless question from Freshie here. Who writes a better TWAB, Cosmo or Damage? I don't know that I've ever actually looked back and rated
paid
them.
attention to.
I saw someone tweet that. I don't know why they were doing it though.
All right, Cosmo, because he wrote this week's one, and I'm pretty sure he wrote last week's one.
This one's very thorough.
Why did they talk so much about the Guardian games? Like, was it really that big of a deal, or were they just trying to like fill the TWAB? Because
I think there was a lot of people butthurt on Twitter.
Because
like,
hunters were butthurt.
Hunters were just having to carry on, and they thought, well, we better fucking make this a bit clearer. So I think that for some people it was a huge deal, and maybe those people, I mean, I'd say need to get out a bit more, but they can't. So maybe that's why it's such a big deal.
You know who writes the best TWABs?
Deej.
Me.
Do. Our abridged version.
Felicia. Felicia's emails are amazing.
Is that
do you
like
guys
a public?
Explain what that is and how amazing the Australian community is?
Is that a public list? Can people like sign up for that?
So.
No.
Oh,
no.
It should be because
I told Felicia it should be. I told her honestly that should be fucking public.
Yeah,
so what I was trying to get as well with the TWAB, like one of my biggest feedbacks was that I said to Felicia, I said to a few other people, was I wanted to have like a global section because I thought it'd be cool, which they kind of did that, where it's like, you know, each rep from all around the world get to like input something if they want. They don't have to, but you can at least say, you know, we're doing this meetup or we're doing this or we're doing that. So they have, and it's all their own responsibilities to get it in at a certain time, and it's just a copy and paste, you know, you don't have to like do anything else. But I was glad they put everyone's names in the TWAB, and the only thing was the times were a bit, I imagine they were PST times, PDT times.
Yeah, they were.
I looked at them and I was like, we're not doing that at 2:00 in the morning. I know that's American times. I just wish they were a bit more specific about that.
Yeah. I think there is. I don't know. I mean, you raise a very valid point, in that is, you know, obviously we're super biased and think that the Aussie community is incredible because we're all part of it, and I think that we've gone from strength to strength sort of over the last year, and we'll continue to do so provided we work on it. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth, like, basically what Fez's email is just a synopsis of the TWAB. It's a synopsis of the TWAB and kind of an update on what's going on in the immediate Aussie Destiny community. And I think we can double down on that. I think we can absolutely contribute to it more, and I'd like to do that. But it would be super interesting. It'd be super interesting to see sort of like a peek behind the curtain of other fucking countries' communities, right?
Yeah.
Like what's going on in fucking Destiny Germany this week? I don't know. It'd be cool to know, you know.
Yeah, I have a lot of UK friends. Like they did a London meetup, which was really cool. Like around the same time we did our one.
Yep. They did their dawn.
I've been saying to them, like, you just need to. I wish we could. I want to help other communities. Like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, you guys are so lucky, you're so small, but people don't realize how hard we actually worked behind the scenes to get where we are today. Like as a community, like, we weren't silent. Like if we weren't happy about something, we banded together and we kept stomping our feet until we were heard by Bungie, essentially. I'd love for other communities to kind of like learn from us or ask questions from us, and
You just need to start your own national podcast. That's all it takes. Just be really. I mean, we've kind of engulfed New Zealand as well because there's the Kiwi thing there across the ditch. We're
you guys we're doing a meetup, and we were like, hey, by the way, you guys, Bungie, we're doing a meetup. Do you want to come and hang out with us? Because it's going to be all the Australian community, and then we met each other at PAX. And
that's kind of the thing that I've learned out of this is that you don't get shit done. No one's going to come and go, hey man, do you want us to just do this awesome thing for you? You've kind of got to just put your cock on the block and be prepared to go it alone and do it anyway.
Don't hurt anyone, upset anyone.
And just go, well, we're doing it. And if you want to fucking tag along and help out, that'd be great. I mean, obviously the Destiny fans event in Sydney was the opposite to that. That was led by Felicia and Amber, and it was incredible. So it just goes to show that it works both ways too. So anyway, that's let's all pat ourselves on the back.
I'm excited though. I messaging someone up in Bungie too about the community. So hopefully added each other. I'm Twitter friends with someone. So they're like, oh yeah, I want to get to know the other communities. I'm like, yes, come hang out and meet our community. So I sent the link to the podcast. I was like, come watch it.
Oh God, don't do that. They won't. Yeah, we'll fucking ruin that for you.
You ruined it already.
I've got all my spies everywhere. No, but it's exciting, That's why I play this game, community. So.
Yeah, that's it. And at the end of the day, that's I think why we're all still here and still so rusted on, is that I have so many. That was it last night, sitting there watching a fucking Discord call with 10 different people in it that are all mates through Destiny and stuff. And just be sitting there talking. It has nothing to do with Destiny. It's transcended Destiny in that respect. So I'm grateful for it, and I will pay that forward any way I can. And I think that you've just got to look at examples of people who we've met in the last year that have gone on to kill it. And you look, Riss is in chat right now, meteoric rise to partner at the start of this year. So it just goes to show that, when we all get together and we all help each other out and people are prepared to put the work in, we can fucking do anything. Mm-hmm. So there you are. There's inspiring chat from Uncle Rob. There you go. Didn't see that coming.
Chugs, you piece of shit. He's found me again.
Oh, I wondered where you were. I was like, where is he?
He's at the...
I was on the
farm. Well, it's not hard, mate. You're probably the only person at the farm. There's only one instance of the farm.
You like my Titan log? It's pinnacle.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Well, what we might do is get ready to transition out of the DDU podcast into something else. So, thanks, irrespective of where you are listening to or watching this podcast. We've seen kind of a bit of an upkick in things recently. Normally our fate is directly tied to where Destiny's at, and Destiny's in a lull, and no one's arguing that. But it's good to see so many people still swinging by the podcast, checking it out, and getting involved and talking about it on YouTube and in the Discords and whatever. So if that's you, thank you very much. We do notice, we do care, and we do really appreciate it when you drop us a line. Beyond that, that's about it. Thanks to Tamsin and Sass for coming on. I know it was short notice because I am incredibly poorly organised. Next week I think we're going to have a particular Titan on that is probably the only one out there that's more obnoxious than me. So no prizes for guessing who that is. But we'll get there. We'll get there next week. Maddie, where's the law going to find people this week? Where do you think? What do you reckon?
The law will find you in a mosh pit of toxic Destiny players sitting in the basement of their mother's house on a fold-out chair, shitting into a bucket.
See,
someone's salty.
No. This is what happens when Matt reads the fucking YouTube comments. Because 2 weeks ago, the law will find you who fucking gives a shit. And it was the most widely fucking regarded fucking statement he's ever made. So now he's just turned into a toxic dickhead to try and double down on it. I've fucking got your number, mate. Don't you worry about it.
Got him.
All right. Well, we might. We're gonna raid out. We're gonna raid someone now. But yeah. Thank Tamsin, Sass. Thanks for coming on. It's
thank you.
And killer work through the week. And look forward to. I don't know. We're gonna do something. I've got a little plan that I'm gonna hatch over the next few weeks. Once the bounties are out of the way, I'm gonna try and do some shit and bring everyone together a little bit. So we'll keep your ear out for more there. All right, I'm gonna hit the button, and we'll see you next week. Fucking can't find the button. Fuck.
Jeez.